Announcers who have special flourishes for particular wrestlers also belt them out here, so this iconic intro now lives immortalized in game. There's also a new Trading Blows minigame that appears infrequently and unprompted, usually in the early goings of a match. It's an abrupt shift
minigame that mostly takes place early in the match, where you advance through, or fight to get out of, a series of increasingly impressive holds and maneuvers before landing a signature move or finisher to wrap things up. Ripley fight Kevin Nash.
To try and close the casket, and finally it's over.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Reese back to another video. So today's video we'll be doing Wwe 2K24 versus Wwe 2K25. Which is better? In today's aspects we're going to be doing in terms of graphics, gameplay, longevity, content, and overall what was a better game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. We on the road to K. Let's get it. Appreciate all the love on my videos. Like I said, I'll try to drop bangers as much as I can, but you know, busy schedule. But no excuses, we gotta get that work done. Without further ado, let's get straight to the video. So we first starting off with Wwe 2K24. Wwe 2K24 dropped on March 5th, 2024. We're gonna be starting off with gameplay first with Wwe 2K24. So Wwe 2K24 added something called the super finisher. It was basically like you charge 3 finishes into one, and you get you charge these into one and basically get like a super finish that's impossible to kick out of. Well, at the time, it's not really impossible. You can't really kick out of it, but you need like 3 finishers or like 2 bars just to kick out of it. But it was really good. It's very questionable, very scary because you can still reverse it at that time. I really like how they added it. That was a really good thing to add into a game in general, just to give it that action type mode, kind of like a combo breaker and Killer Instinct. Wwe 2K24 also added a chain wrestling, which basically like fighting, but it's like you just fill up the bar, hold square, you fill up the bar, and basically it's something that happens in the beginning of every match. It can be annoying at sometimes just because it can go on and on if neither one of you guys, you know, want to stop the cycle by filling it up all the way, or you just want to keep going back and forth. In the moment, it wasn't really like playing it out how I thought it was going to be, like from seeing it, but it was just not a good, in my opinion, it was not a good asset to gameplay. At this time, Wwe 2K24 added the fact that you can throw weapons, which kind of took the game back to like Here Comes the Pain, where you could ride around on motorcycles, or you can throw people out the helicopter, stuff like that. So I really liked that how they added that aspect. That was a really good W, and I like the fact that it's just the little things that really made a game so great. Like the little thing that the developers listen to makes the game so great, and I like that they added that. This game also kind of it's also added the tag slowdown mechanic to this one, just because now you can't spam, like say if you're playing with AI, you can't just spam them every time you're going for a pin and submit someone. It makes the game more fluent and less longer, really, just because if you had AI order generation in games, you know that every time you go for a pin, they'll constantly run and just break it up, which I didn't really like. I didn't understand. It was really stupid. I didn't respect that. But now that they added at the end that you can run one time, it kind of made the game more competitive. Now you gotta really time when you're gonna, you know, use it. Yeah, but they added new payback modes, but also give the manager more of a realistic way now, just because like it goes in the favor of his client. Basically, like, if you ever seen Paul Heyman and how he does for like Roman Reigns and the Tribal Chief, or how he was before Brock Lesnar, which was really a W thing to do and add, which I respect so much about the game. It was really fun. Wwe 2K24 added a lot of new match types. One of my personal favorites is the War Games, but they also added a special guest referee, which is like really fun, but also this is going to be really favored in like multiplayer, like say if you're playing with you and a couple of your friends. It gives you more of an aesthetic of anything can go type thing. Not only that, but 2K also added a more roomier backstage brawl where you can do more stuff and like that. Another one of my favorite things to get added was also the ambulance match and the casket match, but this time it wasn't just like I mean, it still had a little pre-game thing, but now it's more fluent and more to do than just spam one thing. Like if you ever go back in like the older type of casket match, like from 07 and before, it was not really fluent like how it is now, which I respect about Wwe 2K24, my apologies. But yeah, that was a big W in terms of game mode, just because it was a lot more you could do with that. And it's one thing that I give to Wwe 2K24. My tip that I also forgot about was the Gauntlet match. Gauntlet match was basically like an arcade version of wrestling where you can play against like one-on-one combatants, and each time you defeat one, another one comes out, and just it was super fire. And I really like how they added it in, because this originally was in Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth. A lot of the previously older games had this matchup, so I'm kind of glad they brought it back with Wwe 2K24, which was a really big W. I love wrestling games, but this was like one of my favorite game modes in the older generations. Kind of glad Wwe 2K24 added it back. Wwe 2K24 My Rise added two new, well, it wasn't really new, but added two different ways of playing it. It had one mode was basically like Unleash, was basically like a knockoff of the lock-in from last year, where you had to start over from the indies and kind of work your way back up to WBA. But also I like the new mode, which is the new version, which is Undisputed, where basically like Roman Reigns gave a vacant title run, so now anyone can get the title. So now you have to online go through Cody Rhodes, but also go through like some of the top wrestlers, just because Roman Reigns is no longer doing that because he wants to go to Hollywood, which is really a W. Just because like who will not want to go after the tribal chiefs, the one of the ones. It was really good. I like how they added that aspect. Could have been better, but that's my career. My every 2K is always something that could be better. Wwe 2K24's showcase mode, I wouldn't say it was the worst, but I held my head low for this just because 2K23 showcase mode, 2K22 showcase mode just wasn't the same as it was in the previous years. Like I feel like Wwe 2K16 was a really great showcase mode, and Wwe 2K14 the game before that, those are really good showcase mode. Nowadays the showcase mode is not really, it's just like basically a showcase, basically what the name is. You don't really get to enjoy it, like, because after you hit like a certain combo or something, it leads you straight to a cutscene, and then about 2 of those cutscenes your match is over. It's like, how can we relive that if every time we want to have fun or do this and that, it automatically cuts to the end? I understand it's a story mode, but at some point, can you give us more opportunity to play the game rather than just watch the clips of the wrestling? If we wanted to do that, we could have went back and looked at the WWE Vault if we wanted to go back and see those type of games or those matches. And I feel like they could have got someone better than Corey Graves. The commentary over WrestleManias, like you could have got either Paul Heyman like he did this year, or anyone could have been a better fit than Corey Graves, just because he wasn't really an advocate of WrestleMania. So like, why would he be the one to commentate with all the matches? Now we're on to the Universe mode. Wwe 2K24 Universe mode was by far well put together, and I like the fact they added the little things to make the game mode really good. Like they added able to trade wrestlers to different shows and for different values and cash, kind of like they did in My League and NBA 2K, which is something that I never thought they would add. I'm really glad that they did, just because not everyone wants to play showcase mode. Sometimes people want to see their favorite wrestlers on Raw, like sometimes their favorite wrestlers on NXT or WWE or SmackDown, which was really good. And like how the fact they actually gave you more control now over being the general manager, stuff like that, which was so good and one of the best things they could have added in this game mode. Universal mode wasn't really a big step up from previous years. I mean, it's the same thing as you got from last year from Wwe 2K23, and they took off a lot of stuff just because in the previous years we had more options to do more promos with wrestlers, like in Wwe 2K14 and Wwe 2K15. It gave you more options to add more cutscenes and stuff. I understand now they give you more rivalries and stuff like that, like Loser League Town Match, but that's not something that I can really use to keep the game mode really going. It's not something that you just wake up like, oh, that's going to keep me playing this for a while. So if you're a big fan of Universe mode, I won't really get your hopes up with it. This would have been one of the same, really, if you had Wwe 2K23. In my opinion, it's one of the same. So now we're on the rating. So overall, I explained to all the different game modes and gameplay and stuff that's added to the Wwe 2K24. Overall, if I had to give this a rating, I'd give this an 8. It's a really good game. It's not really a great game up from the previous years, but it's a really good game. In comparison to Wwe 2K25, let's see where it ranks. But as of right now, I'll give it an 8. It's a really good game, really fun. You can always come back and play and understand and have fun. Nothing beats a favorite nothing beats playing your favorite wrestling game with some friends, whether it's family, whether it's peers. Nothing beats that. Wwe 2K24 is a great game, but it's not something that you can expect to be goated. As in, it's never perfect. Nothing's never perfect. You just gotta figure out what you can do with it and go crazy. Now we're going to Wwe 2K25. We're just gonna head straight into it. We're gonna start off with the gameplay. Wwe 2K25 gameplay is kind of the same as Wwe 2K24. They're just saying that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's the same exact thing as Wwe 2K24, but add like a little bit more aspects of it. One thing that Wwe 2K24 did bring back was chain wrestling, which I still don't like. It's like I didn't like with the punching thing in Wwe 2K24. I was talking about it in the beginning of the video. It's stupid, and it's assets that make the game long for no reason. I don't respect it, I don't like it, but it is what it is. I guess it was a fan favorite that everybody wanted to have. In my opinion, I didn't like it. I like the classic feel where you can just wrestle it out. Wwe 2K25 also brought back misgender tag match, which is one of the best things you can add. Just because not only do you just like, I know a lot of girls that be playing with their dudes, or girls in general that just like wrestling, want to be able to, see who will win between Rhea Ripley or Roman Reigns, or Charlotte, that's her name. Charlotte versus her dad, Ric Flair. Like, it's so much you will do. So add a misgender in there and get fans the big what if type of thing. So it's really good. I really like that they added that in there. That was one of my favorite things that I always thought they would never bring back, just because of the way it was incorporated in the older generation of games, which was really good. I respect it. Another match type that they added was the underground matches, which is basically like something from Raw that they was doing during quarantine, which is basically giving the fans a different view from regular wrestling, where you could like fight underground, no holds barred, and people would just walk around the arena. It's basically like a fight night, but in like the wrestling, which is really good. I like the aspect of it, but I mean, I never really liked it. A lot of people liked the game mode. I never really liked the underground match. It was just stupid in my opinion, because if we wanted to do that, we could have played UFC, or we could have played a fighting game. So it really wasn't like incorporated right, in my opinion. Now a fan favorite match of mine that I liked the Wwe 2K25 was the Bloodline rules, where like anything goes. Basically, this is like really great, just because it's kind of like the Royal Rumble, but with more freedom and more competitively. I liked it, and I liked the fact that everybody can be in the ring at the same time. That was really nice, and it was really good asset to game modes that we really needed, just because we already hit the mark with Wwe 2K24. The game modes of Wwe 2K24 were so amazing, but like to add a couple more game modes like that, woo! So games ain't bad with that for sure. Now we're on to the showcase of Wwe 2K25. Wwe 2K25 showcase was a lot better and a big upgrade from Wwe 2K24, just because this year they added full ring entrances, so you can really relive the moment, like from the entrance all the way to the ending, which was something that I really liked and glad that they added into this game, just because little things matter, and that was really good upgrade. Also, one thing I like about this game was like, now instead of the cutscenes that you have to trigger, you can organically do them yourself in the match, and that way you can play the match out fully and not have to worry about a cutscene just taking you all the way through the match. This year's showcase mode also relive some of the bloodline, basically the heritage of Roman Reigns, The Rock, the Usos, Rikishi, Umaga, and like their fathers and stuff like that. I can't remember all the names, but it was a lot, and this one was one of the best showcase modes ever. Still think 2K16 got it, but Wwe 2K24 was a really good showcase. One thing I love about Wwe 2K24 showcase is you had the option to change the outcome of some matches that these wrestlers lost in real life, and it gave you like hidden objectives, and then it was more unlockables than ever before, and I really like that. And I also like the twist of that, basically like being able to see like what would happen if you lost, or what would happen if they won this matchup against these two and stuff like that, which is really good. I really like that Wwe 2K added that. As you can tell, there's actually listening to the fans, and I like how the ending showed like two different ways. Basically, like in Mortal Kombat, if you ever play Mortal Kombat 11, and at the end, the hourglass with Liu Kang versus Kronika, it's like if you choose Shang Tsung, you get this ending, or if you choose Liu Kang, you get that ending. That was really good, and that was really a W in my opinion, just because 2K didn't have to do it, but they did it, and I really love that. Thank you, 2K. Wwe 2K24 my rise this year was basically you get to play as 2-for-1 basically. So it's you and your roster, and you get to team up with your ex crazy girlfriend as y'all try to take on the invasion. Which, in my opinion, I didn't really like it, just because I could have kept going the same way I went before. Me personally, I didn't like that. I feel like Wwe 2K24 did it a better way, just because it gave you more fluency and more cutscenes like that. But like having this type of option was alright. Some people might perfect or perform this one better. I said perform. Some of them might like this one better, but I don't like it. And then the voice acting was crazy, just because like instead of us getting this is not, we got the words again at the bottom. Like why do we keep getting the words about them? Then the voice actors was just so outrageous, and the words didn't even match the timing of the people. That's why I didn't understand. I was like, huh? It's like you watching a Chinese movie. If you're watching them old school Chinese movie, if I offend anybody that's offended, but I apologize. I'm just saying, like, I'm just getting reference. My GM mode is the same from last year, but the only thing that I respect about this year is now it's online. So if you want to play with your friends, you know, see who can be the better GM and stuff like that, that was really good. It gave a competitive side to it and more like component side of it, which I like that and I respect it. I know a lot of you guys wanted that online so much. Me personally, I never was a fan of my GM, so I didn't really want that.
So now we into, I would say, my fraction. My fraction returned from last year, and it's basically just card game with, like, I'm pretty sure you guys understand. It's just the Ultimate Team version of WWE. Nothing really to debate right there. It's kind of the same thing as it was last year. This year we also get Island, which is basically like 2K's version of the city from the 2K series. For a first time person, a first time player, and first time 2K come out with the idea, it flopped horribly. Like, from the hype of the trailer of like create your own character and play with them, this game will flop horribly. From the laggy game. But yeah, it could be great if you just understand it more and understand more of it, and just play it with your friends. Like, if you go out and you join Undertaker fashion and stuff like that, and just play with your friends, it can be great. Now, is it perfect? No. Is it horrible? Yes, but it can be great. But the Island mode doesn't stop me from the fact that overall Wwe 2K25 is a jump up from last year's Wwe 2K24. So let's go off graphics. This is really jumping Nathan too. Me personally, I feel like Wwe 2K25 kind of got the graphics part down packed and a little bit better than Wwe 2K24. A lot of people might be like Wwe 2K24 is better, but graphically, but I feel like Wwe 2K25 is a lot better graphically. Presentation. Wwe 2K25 added a little stuff into the game, made it great. Whether it's a face paint chipping, blood, dents, details of the ropes. And now you can actually smash trash cans and break through LED lights on the barricade. It's so much stuff that gives Wwe 2K25 the edge to the presentation over Wwe 2K24. And if I wanted to rate it, Wwe 2K25, in my opinion, I'd give it an 8.5. It's not a big upgrade from last year's game, but it's just about better. So if I had to debate on which was the better game, I have to go with Wwe 2K25. Just overall, Wwe 2K25 took everything from Wwe 2K24 and added more to it, which is one thing I respect, because you know usually the sequel of a game is usually horrible, but Wwe 2K25 did a really good job. Added new game modes, not just new game modes, added a presentation with the blood and everything else, made the game really fun, which I appreciate. I'm kind of glad we went through it because it gave us a whole different version, a whole different variety of the game. And that's been my comparison of what's better, Wwe 2K25 versus Wwe 2K24. Sorry I lose my voice, I've been a little bit under the weather, but hope you guys will like, comment, subscribe, and check out my last video. Wwe 2K. I'm gonna keep pushing out bangers for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully I can recover my voice. It's crazy. Let's get it. Love ya.